Well, the Norfolk countryside and the Snetterton 300 circuit sees the final battleground for the 2024-2025 150 Motorsports Championship. And you join us live here on the JP Broadcasting Network. Another new voice for you to get acclimatised to over the next hour or so. My name's Alex Goldschmidt, and I'll be joined in the booth by James Parfitt. Well, what a run it's been. Some of the greatest circuits around the United Kingdom have seen these Mark V ST150 Fiestas roar around the circuit, and I couldn't think of a better place where we could finish things off. Of course, this circuit has been in use since 2011, measures just over 2.96 miles and measures 12 turns. But the person that has really dominated proceedings has been Jake Hewlett, who really has pretty much wrapped up the title. And James, looking back over the past 5 rounds, it has been the fact that Jake Hewlett has been the tour de force, but you've got the likes of Chris McIntosh, Teddy Cooper, Hayden Gray, Alex Sprang, Will Butsey that have been battling out tooth and nail for the final positions in the top 3. Has got one more 30-minute race to close out proceedings.
Yeah, we have. It's been a very interesting season. You know, we come in at Donny. But we've been to some great racetracks: Cadwell, Alton, Brands Hatch, GP, Snetterton 300. Now, there was talk before about Brands, whether or not we should have been on the Indy because of the small type of the cars. There was talk again this week about the Snetterton 300, whether or not we should have gone on to the shorter 200 layout. But either way, Brands was absolutely stellar racing. Hewlett was gone and on his own somewhere.
Yeah.
He was already at Snetterton last week. He's already wrapped up the championship. Chris McIntosh, Teddy Cooper are not far apart. There's 13 points difference, 25 for the win, of course. So we'll see how they get on. That will be the battle for second and third. Hayden Gray pretty much wrapped up fourth. Depends on how he gets on over Spranger, who doesn't look like he's here either this week. So it's been a great season, and I think overall it's quite sad to come to the end of it. But next season, of course, they are coming back again with a new car. So, yeah, stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, well, of course, you know, the Mark 7s tend to be the cars that are normally out with the BRSCC these days, as we are underway with our final 15-minute qualifying session to decide the grid for our final 30-minute race of the season. Now, in practice, we were seeing some drivers getting adventurous with their racing lines, especially going through Corham and onto the final 90 left that then brings you onto the centre straight, and also some other interesting lines going through Brundle into Nelson into the bomb hole. One of the most appropriate corner names for a fast right-hander, if you will.
Yeah. It's very interesting because I love the fact that the names of race circuits. We were discussing this in the green room. We're going to have a quick yonder off into a different conversation for a minute. They are on an out lap. Yeah. It's about 2-minute lap, so we're fine. But people really don't think how difficult it is for us commentators up here in the booth when we talk names, right? We have names like the bomb hole, bomb, B-O-M-B. Now, if you say it quickly, it can become something else, and it does make you chuckle. And then, of course, we go to VIR, and there's a wonderful corner name on there that's a right tight hairpin right-hander on their West circuit, and you know that's unfortunately called the female dog, which you would call a female dog. And I just wish sometimes that people would think about corner names and maybe put commentators first for a minute. You know, think about the things we have to go through, and the certain, how can I put it, the certain chuckling, I suppose, that goes on through the race as somebody goes off the side of the circuit. That's never good. But so yeah, I think sometimes the names need to be thought of, maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of hindsight is a wonderful thing, as we always like to allude to. But of course, we've got names such as Senna, Wilson, named after ex-F1 and IndyCar racer Justin Wilson, who was unfortunately taken before his time. Agostini, Giacomo Agostini, multi-time motorcycle world champion. Williams, Brundle, you know, and of course Senna on the Senna straight. One of the cars is not exactly rolling forward in the right... Well, it's rolling forward in the right direction, but not really going anywhere at the minute. So I think that was the Monster Energy liveried ST150 as we ride with Gary Cooper, who at this point was running down in 10th place in the championship. We are very shortly going to get our first flying laps. We were seeing around about 2-minute 12s, low 2-minute 12s for these vehicles, which run a 2-litre Duratec petrol engine. The 150 nomenclature is for the brake horsepower output, which is either 150 PS or 150 brake horsepower. But these cars that our drivers are running on the Assetto Corsa platform are a little bit more sprightly, let's say. And we have seen a few drivers, I think, going out of Coram and into the left-hander, heading into the centre straight. Definitely finding the striking bollards off of the curbing, which has made for some interesting things, but also front-wheel drive, steering. Understeer could be a problem for some drivers. If they get a bit too, let's say, late on the brakes, try and turn it in. You deal with chronic understeer, and then you find that one of the back wheels will launch itself up into the air.
Yes. They do spend quite a lot of time on two wheels. As Jake Hewlett is running there. There was a car off in the background. He's going to be the first one to set times. They do spend a lot of time on two wheels, these cars. And we've seen it all season. And somehow they continue to go in a straight line, which is great. But we have seen cars up on his roof. I think it was at Cadwell Park. We had a car on the roof, which wasn't good. But overall, they do look very fun to drive. And, you know, if anybody out there's got one of these and is looking for a racing driver, well, I don't drive, but I commentate well. But I'm sure I'd have a go. You know what I mean? I put in a little bit of effort as Gary Cooper and Jake Hewlett just got the same time dead to 3 places here. 2:12.665, 2:12.665. So this could be fun.
So those are the first scores on the doors that we see here at this qualifying session. So a third of the way through. Ruggie has just gone. Ruggie has just gone through into 3rd place, but then Will Butsey goes in with a 2-minute 13.761, just over nearly 1.1 second off of both Cooper and Hewlett, as we say. Andrea Ruggi in the body in white colour car. Well, body in white basically means that's primer, or how the car would look if it was being built in the factory, possibly in Cologne, where the car was produced. But there's Aaron Beattie making his way into Wilson, and seeing quite a few drivers locking up going into Brundle and Nelson. It seems to be a bit of you get that long run coming out of Williams down the back stretch, and then into Brundle, where you're probably going to be clocking north of 100 plus miles an hour. These cars can top out at about 125, 130, give or take, especially if you've got slipstream. But going into Brundle and Nelson, that's going to be the real sort of touch point, you know, the litmus test for these cars.
Yeah, right. I think, you know, that sort of run is going to be very, very interesting. It's the same when you're coming out of Murray's down to Ritchie's. You know, you're going to have that fast approach, and I think you can be able to see here from Will Butsey. He's basically on the run down there now. You know, you can see it's topping north of 160 kmh there. And he's going to go under the bridge, and then he's going to swing it in and brake at the same time and try and get it rotated and try and stay off the sausage curb on the inside. You know, there's lots to try and do in this car. You've got a car that almost wants to terminate you at the same time as probably giving you the best thrill of your life.
Yeah, he was doing about 110 miles an hour, give or take, going into Brundles and Nelsons, and yeah, yeah, there we go. Out of the 90 left, he goes onto the start-finish straight. So, could there be a possible improvement on the cards for Will Butsey? So Jake Hewlett on another outlap at the moment, but looks to have gone quicker still. Yeah, 2:12.536 for the man who's pretty much wrapped up this 150 Motorsports season with, I think, probably a round to spare. So
yeah, he wrapped it up last time. He wrapped it up at Brand, Alex. I think that was the thing. He was close to wrapping it up before we even got to Brands. And then when we did get to Brands, he kind of cemented it in the race. He just went out and, you know, dominated everyone, as he probably will do here. But I think overall, you know, Jake's a real life driver. He's a real life coach. He's a sim coach. He does everything within racing. Do you know what I mean? As much as you can feature here as well. I'm sure he'll pop in for an interview and he'll do his little advertising spiel when we ask him if he wants to shout anybody out. He shouts himself out, which is amazing. So he does kind of everything. So it's very hard to see past Jake. I think that's the problem we've got. He's very quick, and it just seems to be no matter what car you put him in, he seems to be quick anyway. So would I love Cooper and Butsy and Gray and Rougy and McIntosh to get over the top of him at the start? Absolutely. But if you don't get there at the start, you're not going to get there in the half-an-hour race.
Well, speaking of Chris McIntosh, he said, note to self, don't try and handbrake turn in the pits. Might have met the ball. So that's got a nice couple of laugh out louds in the Discord. But yeah, like you say, Jake Hewlett is rapid, whether he's on a sim, whether he's in real life, and is quicker by 0.13 of a second. Will Butsy has moved up to third in the classifications. We've got 5 3/4 minutes in qualifying still to go. Very interesting line taken by Jake Hewlett. He's using as much of the track as possible, keeping it as close to the wall on the centre straight down the pit lane, and then carries it over to the outside. So there's someone who, I think that was Andrea Rucci that he just got through, who's just on an outlap. Hayden Gray has just exited the pits. Looks like Gary Cooper at the minute is satisfied with the second place that he's got at the moment on a 2:12.665. So both him and Jake Hewlett matched each other. There's Hayden Gray. If I remember correctly, ran in the Bambino Kart Championship, run by Darren
you
Beavers.
Said it.
I know.
And we're not even sure.
Well, I checked his YouTube channel. It's got Bambino Kart Club written all over it.
Well, okay, I'll give you that for doing your research. Fine.
There you go.
But I think we both commentated on this young man in real life.
Yeah, I remember
correctly.
the name. It's like, as soon as I saw the name, I went, hang on, 2 + 2 does equal 4, but Hayden does not need to go that far outside of Rich's. 2 wheels on the grass, but still keeps the throttle pinned, and that was nice and tidy through Wilson. And then he's going to go into the next left-hander here at Palmer before the run down to Agostini. I do like the complex at Palmer, Agostini, Hamilton and Oggies, where it's very much like a bit of a Bermuda Triangle of racing, if you will.
It's very weird. Do you know, it kind of almost reminds me that they thought, we've got a big load of field in the middle, let's extend the track. And then they come up with the 300 in 2011. That's what it reminds me of. You know, the 200 circuit's awesome because we haven't got that bit in the middle. But it does look like somebody just woke up one day and went, I know, if we curve this back here and then curve that out to that corner of that field over there where the sweet corn is, come back to where the hay and that is, and then turn left down by the tomatoes, and then we can go up round the cauliflowers and back onto the Bentley straight again.
So in other words, someone's just done a bit of a squiggle and gone, there we go, that's it.
Yeah, you're giving it to my daughter and told her to extend it. And she's only 7, as Elisa knows. My daughter was more than emphatically joining me on my broadcast while I was driving yesterday for the V8s. She decided to come in and then realised that she was on camera and was doing a little dance in the background, bless her. So, yeah, there you go. It's like somebody's given a little bit of paper to her and just gone, join that to that, but give us this bit. And she's just gone, woo. Oh, dude.
Yeah, like literally you've had it 5 seconds later. You go, what's this?
Yeah, that works. Let's do that. Come on.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
it's approved. In the meantime, Jake Hewlett has gone even quicker on his previous qualifying lap, 2:12.381. And, well, Gary Cooper has decided to come out of pit lane. So has Teddy Cooper, along with Aaron Beatty, who's currently down in 13th. Hayden Gray, is this going to be an improvement for him? Well, he remains 4th at the moment, but he's only just over a 10th behind Will Butsy for 3rd place as he throws it into Rich's. And this time, uses the outer curbing, not the grass, to keep the car in a straight line. Then hard on the anchors, nose dips down into Wilson, nice and tidy on the apex. Run the car wide, use the outer curbing, and then square it up for the next right-hander here, the next left-hander here at Palmer.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job from Hayden Gray. Through the left-hander he goes. Then he's going to run up to Agostini, of course. Again, he's got to be hard on the anchors once more to get this car stopped, to get it going left down through Hamilton. And there he goes, hard on. You see the nose dip in, left he goes. Run it all the way round, take as much curb on the exit. And now we're on the run down through Hamilton into Oggies.
So coming up to the final minute and 40 seconds of the qualifying session. Jake Hewlett is quicker than anybody else out on circuit. Whether Gary Cooper is going to be able to put in a lap time, but he'll only have one shot at it. Chris McIntosh has improved and stayed in 5th place behind this man here, Hayden Gray, who's now out of Williams, and then on the run down to the left-right combination at Brundle and Nelson before the bomb hole, and then into Coram. So let's see if this young man can improve once again. He's nip and tuck between him and Will Butsey for 3rd place, so the inside of row 2. Ooh. A lot of smoke coming from the left rear, but then 2 wheels into the air. Knight Rider slightly through Nelson. Gets all 4 wheels back on terra firma. Through the bomb hole goes Gray, and then just Coram, and then the 90 left onto Senna Straight. And let's see what happens for Hayden Gray. Will the 68 move up into 3rd position? He might have an opportunity, possibly, as there's 40 seconds on the timer. Very high on the left-hand side went both wheels for Hayden Gray, but he's putting the pedal to the metal for the line. Will he improve? Let's find out.
Now over the line he's going to go, wait for the time to come up on the board, and then we'll see what he gets on. It's a 2:13.581, no improvement there as well. So a quick question for Alicia on YouTube chat as well. Do you drive these in real life? And do you go to Thruxton? And if you're at Thruxton and you're feeling a bit icky, if you give me a call, I'll come up and take your place, because it's only 40 minutes up the road. All right, just to let you know.
Well, in the meantime, Chris McIntosh actually moved up into P3. So managed to improve and get ahead of Will Butsey and also Hayden Gray, who's dropped to 5th place. Jake Hewlett, well, timer has hit 0. They might get the opportunity to complete their last flying laps, but Gary Cooper has pitted, Chris McIntosh has pitted, so has Ryan Turner, along with Ross and Rusek, amongst others. So a lot of drivers, also including Sam Hazel, starting 14th. But yeah, Jake Hewlett just putting on a clinical masterclass here at Snetterton as he goes through Williams. Yeah,
Cooper's got to do something down into Richie's. I don't know what. I don't know. There was talk about sticking Jake in a Formula V or something slow in a go-kart. We're not quite sure if he still would win or not, but we'll try it just to see while see what happens, basically. But Cooper has got to, and I say this imperatively, he's got to run him into Riches. Now, I'm not quite sure on AC which side they're going to put the leader. Generally, it's on the left, facing down into turn 1. If he is on that, Cooper's got to run it into deep into Riches. He's got to run it in deep and try and stop him there as well. Lisa said, I have one, yeah, I'll get on a track day there, get Jake to throw you about in it. No, you don't need to throw me about, I want to drive. Lisa, I want to drive.
Yeah, but look at the 2 words I'm going to enunciate. Get Jake.
Yeah, I know. Not Elisa drives me down there, just Jake. Just give me the car and let me poodle off. And then I'll see what happens there. Absolute abomination of a qualifying from me, says Sam Hayes. Well, you're at the back, Sam, so that would probably explain that one on there as well. I'm 15, 16. Years age or years older? There we go.
No, in this qualifying session, but Jake Hewlett takes pole position in what was a pretty, close qualifying session between initially him and Gary Cooper. So it is going to be Hewlett and Cooper on the front row, McIntosh and Butsey on row 2, Gray and Cooper on row 3. Good job there by Andrea Ruggi in 7th, Lola Chio in 8th. Then we've got Justin Kurt, followed by Ryan Turner rounding out the top 10. And then we've got Ross Rusek, BT Hayes, we did see another name on there called Slopey, but we've actually found, I don't know whether this is his real name or not, but Jorn Ritmer, I think, who says, and he said, watching this whilst racing. You want to keep your eyes on the track and hands on the wheel, Jorn, is all I'm saying on that one.
Do you know there's a lot of drivers that do that?
I know.
I get told this. I don't know. It's like the people that type in YouTube chat and drive. We've got Seth Pegg. He drives for another league. He drives NASCAR. Yes, you're only going left, but you're going left at 200 plus mile an hour. He manages to type in YouTube chat while driving. Now, I'm not being rude. When they say men can't multitask, I think that's only really in conjunction with myself, because I can't drive and chat in YouTube chat at the same time. It doesn't work. Okay, I get all a little bit tizwazzy, and it just doesn't work for me. But we're just about to get this underway here. Not quite sure why that is all the way down there, but I will resurrect that in 2 seconds. But let's get this up and running.
So for the final time here for 150 Motorsports, we're green, we're underway, and it's the run down to riches for the first time. Side by side between Hewlett and Cooper as we will head into riches. So the first few seconds of the 30-minute adventure get underway, and through goes Cooper on Hewlett. You said, James, very rightly that he had to do something, but Hewlett is not giving this up without a fight. Paint swapping between the pair into Wilson. A little bit of a slight nudging here or there. Hewlett is going to look to the outside line on the approach into Palmer for the first time, and it's still neck and neck between them, but Cooper's got the inside line. Hewlett has had to back out of it, and then we've got Chris McIntosh not too far behind, and now Cooper's trying to defend. Hewlett's going from one side to the other as we head into Agostini. Hewlett's got to be very, very careful he doesn't open the door for McIntosh here as well.
Wow.
Big old high side there for Cooper, and also Hewlett going through Agostini, and Hewlett's being forced onto the grass. This is going to allow McIntosh to sweep round the outside at Hamilton to take the race lead. Oh, but he's spun it around.
Oh no! Buxy's in the lead with Cooper. Hewlett's in front. What is going on here? They are literally having an absolute ding-dong. McIntosh is down the back now. Hewlett's trying to muscle his way through, and he had to get over Cooper at the beginning. And then I said, didn't I, Cooper has to run him in, and he's got to bully him, and he's got to push him under pressure. And he did just that. But now, for McIntosh, he's all the way down the back end of the field. Hewlett's sat in second, and Buxy's out in first. Go on, Will, defend for your life, son.
Yeah, and he's got to do that for the next 28 plus minutes. But Cooper coming at Hewlett. That was close, coming out of the bomb hole. They're all going wide, actually, out of the bomb hole as well from the back half of the field. McIntosh has got his way past Ritmer, back up into 13th place. So Chris McIntosh, at the minute, is going to have to worry, because Teddy Cooper, coming into this round, was only 13 points behind him. The way things stand as they are, Cooper could take the runner-up spot as the Lazio loses it through the left-hander. Two wheels striking the curb on the left-hand side and up, and the car nearly goes over. But big moment there for Chris McIntosh on that early bit of exchanges with Hewlett and Butsy and Cooper et al.
Yeah, McIntosh is now coming on the inside of us here. There he is. Through he goes on the inside line. And Poro Lolagio goes off down the side. Turner's on the grass as well. They're running side by side at this moment in time, coming into the right-hander of Wilson's now. Oh, Turner! Turner just absolutely got a 244 strike. Boom, straight through the middle. Hands up, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely boomed them.
If you wanted a punt, that was personification in its finest by Turner, by Ryan Turner in the Vulcan liveried car. My godfathers, I thought someone would send it into Wilson, but Turner just went, right, throw the Hail Mary, and as you said, the 244 strike was definitely employed, but it hasn't helped him out. He's a little bit further down, and Jorn Ritmer running in the in the Ken Block tribute band livery in the number 43,
Yes.
just behind Turner.
Somehow it's in YouTube chat typing. I don't know. I don't get it. How are you doing this? With the WTF, i.e., you know,
What the hell?
What the pajamas has gone on there when he absolutely got domed by Turner. But Butsy's still leading. Go on, son. Hewlett's in second. Cooper Gary Cooper is in third. Teddy Cooper's in fourth. And then you got Rougi and Gray, Kirk, Beattie, McIntosh, Lola Gio, Rusick, Hayes, Turner, Slopey, of course, and Ross at the back end, who's driving around all on his Todd. Bless him.
Well, the thing is, at the minute, Teddy Cooper currently running P4. That's 17 points. Oh, now, Chris McIntosh, currently running 9th, is on 2. Which would mean that if Teddy Cooper and Chris McIntosh are, as they stand, in 25 minutes' time...
Cooper's going to jump him, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to jump him in the standings and take, more than likely, the runner-up spot in the championship.
Yep.
But there's still 25 minutes of flat-out ST150 action here at Snetterton 300. So Will Butsey keeping about a second lead between himself and Jake Hewlett, with Gary Cooper and Teddy Cooper running at the top 4. Hayden Gray holding station in 5th as we ride on board.
Somebody's gone round. McIntosh has gone round again.
Oh, this is not going well for Chris.
No, he's just gone round again.
No, that means a no score, because they only score for the top 10.
Well, he better get on his bike.
Well, Alicia's just said Butsy got some boost this week. Maybe he's had the nitrous engaged.
He's had his Weetabix.
He's had his ready break.
Yeah, got to wake up with the oats for Butsy. Stella, I don't care. He's up front. Go Will. I'm going to become a Will fan. No offense, Jake. I love you really, but go Will. That's all I can say. Defend, son.
Yeah, that's got to be the. Just keep it consistent. You don't want to cross the T's, dot the I's. You don't want to put yourself in a position where someone could overtake you, and that's what Will Butsey will need to do for the next. Nearly 24 minutes as they go through under the bridge into Brundle and Nelson. A lot of smoke coming from every single back axle of the top 4 as they go through Nelson and then into the bomb hole once again through this right-hander. And then you really start to pick up speed. You're probably pushing the best part of 80, 90 miles an hour going into Coram. But then you've got to line it up coming out of the corner and then, well, hammer on the brakes because it's a very, very short run into Murray's and a very short braking zone. And Chris McIntosh is quite a bit of time behind Rusek in 12th. So Chris really needs to get himself into at least 6th or 7th position by my mathematics to hold on to second in the championship behind Jake.
Yeah, it's about 4 seconds back. So Turner and Rusick are doing him a favour at the moment and fighting it out here. So they're having a nice little scrap. But the thing is, as soon as he gets into this pack, you can see the pickoffs he can have in front. Rusick, Turner, Hayes, Lola Gio, Beattie, who's just gone and decided to cut the grass, are all there. So for McIntosh, if he can get into it, as Beattie's just made a mistake, that's going to allow Gio go through. They're side by side at the moment, coming into the left-hander here of Palmer before they go on that run up into Agostini, and Gio cannot get through. But Chris, this is good. And I know it might sound a weird thing to say, but it's good that they are fighting because then it will give him the opportunity to catch up.
Yeah, Chris needs to finish at least 7th, because that's only an 11-point differential. It's 13 points coming into this round. So Teddy's got the advantage, but folks, always expect the unexpected when it comes to racing. As we run aboard with Lolaccio, as BT plume of smoke there from the car in front. I think that was more than likely going to be. Yeah, you could just see how hard some of these drivers are pushing, and we've seen it in qualifying. We've seen it in the first 8.5 minutes of this race, where the drivers have really, really been pushing like crazy. I mean, you just see the rooster tails of smoke as they lock up the anchors.
Look at that.
You know, you're gonna, yeah. It's like everyone's wondering when the thunderstorm's going to arrive. They go, oh, cloud, where's the rain?
Yeah, but the thing is, that's the thing. But it looks absolutely amazing, and you think it looks amazing for us. Figure out how it's going to be for them in the car. You know, they've got this thing absolutely up on two wheels. Beatty's got it cutting grass every single corner. So for him, he's, you know, well on his way out there. Hayes is tucked in at the moment. As you can see here, right in behind Gio, and they're going down into Rich's now. Is now the opportunity of, do you dive up the inside or do you not? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Well, he's gonna go for it. Hard on the brakes. Gio just says nope, and then opens it up and runs a little bit wide. He's got to be a little bit braver on that entry.
They were pushing about 100 miles an hour going into Rich's. Now all the way down the gearbox, ran to about 40 miles an hour. Then accelerate out of the corner. They're going to be north of 60, 70 miles an hour now going into Palmer's, and then you've got a further acceleration zone, so they're going to be close to 90 miles an hour before the braking zone for Agostini. But then that's that's nigh on a hairpin at turn 4 at Agostini. You can see the 1 and the 2 brake marker balls there. So accelerating out, a shorter blast up to Hamilton, and it's a fast left-hander, so you want to carry that speed through the corner, but then again you've got to go hard on the brakes here into Oggies, and then you've then got to carry the momentum through. Go wide, but not too wide, maybe about 2/3 of the way across the track, to then build going through into Williams, and then you can really go hammer down. And then you're going to see that these drivers, I mean, especially in a slipstream, we saw in qualifying, Jake Hewlett hit Brundle's braking zone at about 110 miles an hour. If you're getting a little bit of a draft here, you're probably going to be topping out about 115, 120.
He's going to go underneath.
Nolachio goes 2 wheels in the air. Hayes gets through. I nearly thought that Beatty would have lost it there. As a little bit further back, someone has gone off track. I'm not too sure if that was McIntosh, possibly. But there's Sam Hayes running the number 150 as they will now go through into Murray's. But still, with 18 and a half minutes to go, Butsy still leads.
Turner, Chio, Rusick, all involved in that, coming out of that last corner, and that was all caused by, there was an up on 2-wheel moment in front. I think it might have been Beatty, and then Chio ended up trying to stop and hit, and then Turner hit, and then Rusick hit, and Chio ended up doing some wonderful pirouettes. So unfortunately for Chio, down the order now. Slopey's in YouTube chat. He's off to watch Breaking Bad after this, as he's just driving around on his Jack Jones here with Ross in behind him. Chio's up the road though, Slopey, so get on with it, son. You might catch her. Cooper's in a bit of a mission. We've got both Coopers together. We've got Teddy and Gary. They're about 2 seconds back from Mr. Hewlett, who, as you can see, has closed in on Butsy. So Butsy's got to defend like his life depended on it right about now.
Yeah, also one of the things over a half-hour race, especially with these pint-sized pocket rockets, of course, the front tyres are going to take an absolute battering because you've got torque steer, you've got understeer, you've got the steering, you've got the power, all going through that front axle. And especially when you get a little bit eager on the brakes, but of course the nose dips when you get hard on the brakes, especially as we now go down the back stretch on the run towards Brundle and Nelson. Hewlett is starting to close on in. It's not significant at the moment, but it's 0.3 of a second between him and Butsy as they go into Brundle's. Lock up on the left rear. You can see the smoke billowing from the left rear of Butsy's car as they go out of Nelson, now into the bomb hole, and then through in towards Coram. Again, they're going to be carrying speed through this left-hander as they accelerate in towards Coram and then through into the 90 left at Murray's, the 12th and final corner. You can just see the correction that some of the drivers are having to take. Jake Hewlett, in the meantime, was very, very close to the apex going through in towards Coram and then ran a little bit wide. But look, he's managed to close that gap. He was flat on the throttle coming out of Murray's. And now we are nearly at half-time. Hewlett to the outside of Butsy, into Riches. Is he going to chance it? He's going to give it a shot. He's going to give it a go. And 2 wheels on the dust for Hewlett. He nips ahead of Butsy, but Butsy's going to have the inside line. Is he going to run deep? Yes, he is. Hewlett up the inside. Retakes the race lead. So Butsy, after taking the race lead initially, finds that nearly half-time was all he could muster to keep Jake Hewlett at bay.
Oh, it took Jake 15 minutes. Come on, Will. You gotta... I don't know what he's going to try now. If he doesn't get back straight at him, Hewlett could be gone here. Jake's just... Well, he is just that fast, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. Fortunately for him. Unfortunate for Will Butsy, because I've got a funny feeling Will might just be looking at the back end of him now.
Yeah, but also whilst they've been battling, Gary and Teddy Cooper have been closing that gap. So I think what Will's got to do is just keep with Jake. Don't overdrive that car. The tyres are going to start degrading quite significantly as we go into the latter stages of the race on a front-wheel drive vehicle. But it's just about how, if Will can keep it nice and calm, and then if Gary and Teddy start coming in to make it a four-way scrap for the race victory, then anything's possible.
Yep. Anything is possible. But he's got to learn now. Got to learn off Jake. And where he breaks, Butsy breaks. Where Jake steers, Butsy's got to steer. This is all going to be a learning scenario for Will Butsy now. Along with his Weetabix and his oats and his bran or whatever else he's had today, he's now got to learn. This is where he's got to kind of almost AI and pick up on what Jake is doing and do the same thing. Because, as I said, at the moment, 2:14.1, 2:14.8, 2:14.0, 2:13 was one there, wasn't it? So they've got to make sure that they can stay with Jake now and see if they can, I don't know, muscle him over the next 13 minutes.
Yeah, Teddy looked, it was a 2:13.6 from what I saw. So he is the quickest of the quartet, and sometimes the danger can be lurking not just from either if you will, Butsy, whether it's Jake Hewlett in front of you or Gary Cooper behind you. You've got to worry about the person that's the fourth wheel in this train. And you can see just by the overheads how calm and composed now that Jake Hewlett has retaken the race lead. Put it on pole by over 0.3 of a second, but ended up losing out the race lead after some early exchanges with him, Gary Cooper, Chris McIntosh. But Will Butsy was the one that really put the, I think really stoked the fire in the oven for Jake, as if to say, right, okay, let's just put on a little bit of a clinic here. But for Will to be ahead of Jake for half of the race, you have to say, you know, chapeau, you know, great job there by Will to keep it as it is. But I have a foreboding feeling that Gary Cooper is doing exactly the same as Jake, just reading what Will's doing and starting to reel him in a little bit.
That's my fear. Because what's going to happen is Gary's going to get onto the back of Will. Teddy's going to come with him. Will and Gary are going to scrap, but while they're scrapping, little old Hewlett up the road here is just going to go, hey, you carry on. I'm on my bike. And away he's going to go. So, you know, I do fear that why all of these are doing this, Jake's going to be on his bike a little bit. But this is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. Everybody else is a little bit spread out looking down the left-hand side there. So we'll keep an eye on this and see what happens on this one. But yeah, Butsy and Mr. Cooper cannot afford to fight.
No, I mean, if one of the strategies that Will could employ is that if Gary behind him is running quicker, which he quite clearly is at the moment because he's able to get a little bit of a slipstream here, if Will lets Gary go, then that could give him an opportunity for them both to close in on Jake. So it's just about how much confidence Will has got. Has he got enough in the tyres? And of course, this is quite a physical circuit in its own right. There's a lot of rights, lefts, especially in the first couple of sectors of the track, where you are going from, you come out of Murray's, then you go down to Centre Straight, then you've got a double right, so you've got Riches and Wilson. One is a hairpin. Then you got a 90 left through Palmer. Then you got a left-hand hairpin at Agostini. Then you got a flat left at Hamilton. And then a double right at Oggies and Williams. So the first part of the circuit, the first half of the circuit, really needs a driver that's quite on their marks, if you will. Like able to run the car out wide, get as close to the apex as possible, but also have the confidence to power out of the corners and not hit that loud pedal that fraction too early.
Yeah. Every part of whatever he's going to lose time-wise will be in that first section. That's where Jake is obviously going to be smoother. As you can see, Butsy's now gone off to the side of the circuit and literally got close to Jake. However, probably not the most legitimately legal way of getting close to Jake, because he skipped after the chicane out there as well. But see, it's things like that. You've got to concentrate and continually be smooth. Otherwise, you end up in that kind of scenario. Now, we've got Turner. He's having a nice little ding-dong with Beatty. Beatty's definitely gone and seen every part of the circuit today. So he's definitely getting his money worth out of this mod because he's there at the moment and he's alongside Turner. They've gone through the right-hander of the bomb hole. Now they're getting a little bit close coming into Murray's final corner. It's going to be a run down into turn one here, Alex, I think.
Yeah, well, Turner making good use of the inside line through both the bomb hole and into Coram to get past on Aaron Beatty. So, yeah, Turner looks to have a little bit more pace in that Fiesta ST 150, but Beatty's not going to give up without a fight. 9 minutes and 10 seconds still to go. The gap between Jake Hewlett and Will Butsey has now expanded to the best part of 1.7 seconds.
Oh!
Now that
was Hayes.
And more importantly, Chris McIntosh.
Again.
McIntosh has been in the wars tonight, so second in the championship is now really coming under threat.
From having no points.
Yeah, no points. So I did say that Chris would have to finish 7th or higher. Chris, you've got to make up 5 places, but then you look at the gap between him and Justin Kirk, who's currently P7, as Andrea Ruggi goes off circuit.
It's like 13 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah, that's 13 seconds. But that's coming down as Kirk and Ruggi are battling away. So, and they're coming out of Williams right now. So Justin Kirk. So effectively for Chris McIntosh, Andrea Ruggi in 7th is now the target. And that gap is around about
12 seconds.
10 and a half. It's 11 and a half seconds now. So that time, whilst they've been battling away, has been coming down.
That's too much, Alex.
It is, yeah, it's going to be too much because, I mean, when you're looking at 2 minute 12 laps, if that, I mean, McIntosh must be running at least 2:14s, 2:15s, give or take. Plus also the fact he's been involved in more than 3 incidents in this race. That's now going to give the advantage to Teddy Cooper to pick up the runner-up spot in the series. But, you know, it's just been of Chris McIntosh. Wrong place, wrong time.
His best laps are 2:13.804. That was the last lap. That was before the dramatics. Everybody in front of that has been 15, 18, 16. Gray's 13, then you go 12, 13, 13, 12. So, although, what did he do like time around?
2:21.7.
Yeah. No way. He could have all the nods in that car, and if he can't keep it on track, it ain't going to make a blind bit of difference. This man ain't going to make up. What's he got? 21 to 32. So that's 11 seconds.
11 seconds, yeah, 11 seconds.
No.
He's got to. No,
Ruggi's doing 2:18s last time out, but that's because they were battling. been in the 2:14s. McIntosh did 2:13, 2:21, but that's obviously because of his dramatics. Even that second is not enough. They're only going to get 3, and he's only going to get 3 seconds. It's not enough. It doesn't matter what goes on. All of these in front of him need to almost let him past and say, "Gorge, son," because he is not going to get up to here unless Ruggie pulls out some form of mega dramatic move and puts himself off or something.
Yeah, it's always the what if situation. Had Chris McIntosh not had those 3 or 4 incidents over the last 25 and a bit, just under 25 minutes, we could be talking a different story in the battle for the runner-up spot in the championship. And this could also help Hayden Gray, who's currently running in P5 at the minute, behind Teddy. So, well, Hayden won't secure 3rd in the series, but so it looks like it could be Teddy, Chris, and then Hayden rounding out the top 4 in the standings, with Will Butsey moving up to P5. I mean, it's 22 points for 2nd place, so that will put Will Butsey on 53 as per the leaderboard that we have. But 5 minutes to go. Oh, Mr. Turner, keep it off the grass. You don't want the virtual Jonathan Palmer sending you an invoice.
Hey, why not?
Why not?
Why not? See what happens, isn't it? But yeah, to be fair, Turner, BE, they've done a great job that the groundsmen haven't even got to worry about here, because they've been on the grass and been trimming the bits off here and there. Kirk and Ruggie are having a battle. Kirk is in the chat. I think that must have been just before qualifying ended, actually, because I was going to say, if he's driving and typing in there, it would be very impressive. But I think Kirk's done a great job. Ruggie's done a great job. Rusic's in this mix, who's got Turner in behind him, then BE and McIntosh. And these two aren't going to be caught. Jake Hewlett, well, Jake's done Jake. He got out in front and absolutely ran away from Butsey, who was under deep pressure from Gary Cooper over what will be, it's not going to be the last lap, I don't think. I think there's going to be one more.
No, I think you're right, because if Jake is running at sort of 2:12s, 2:13s, we are looking at 2 more laps to go, as into Brundle once again. Lock up big time from all 3 drivers. I think Cooper was trying to show his nose to Butsey there, going through into Brundle, but had to go like, I don't want to do a 2-4-4 strike like we saw earlier on with Ryan Turner, just properly throwing it down the inside at Wilton, which is something you don't really see happen that often. But yeah, Gary Cooper doing a stellar job to keep Will Butsey very, very honest, but the gap is starting to expand. Just keeping an eye on the gap between McIntosh and Ruggie. That gap has come down, but it's not going to be enough. I mean, if there was 13 minutes, then I would say there's a possibility. It's just that Chris McIntosh at this moment is like thinking, I need a miracle right about now, and he's not getting one. He's not getting one. So 2 laps to go. Hewlett again putting on another clinical masterclass. Held fire for 15 minutes, got past on Will Butsey, who got the initial hole shot from 4th on the grid to take the race lead. And now Will is coming under fire once again by the ever foreboding Gary Cooper, who was on the outside of the front row alongside Hewlett and managed to give the number 92 at the front end of the field a bit of a scare, and also a bit of rubbings racing through Riches and into Wilson for the first time. But Butsey was the one that made the best of the meal that was offered in front of him and took a great big bite. But yeah, looks like things are coming towards the end of the race, and more to the point, this series, folks, as Hewlett is now nearly 3.6 seconds ahead of Will Butsey, with Gary Cooper rounding out the top 3. Battle for the final 2 steps on the podium could come down to the wire as we ride on board with Chris McIntosh, and this will be an evening that Chris will rather want to forget.
Yeah. So close, but yet No cigar. And he seemed a bit of... He's had a roller coaster, hasn't he? He seems almost like a little bit of a magnet tonight, as Chris, unfortunately. Everything just kind of magnetized towards him. Obviously, we had, you know, the incidents with Turner and a few other little bits. And it's just a shame because he was doing so well. But unfortunately, well, it's racing, dude. I can't... there's nothing we can say or do that's going to change where he is at the moment. And... Lady Luck clearly weren't on his side. Beatty's off.
Oh, well, at least the thing was Chris positioned the car to be in the right place at the right time for that corner. But in the meantime, our race leader, Jake Hewlett, is now on the 14th and final lap of this race. Just 40 seconds to go. He heads down to Wilson for the final time, does the number 92. A clinical display, having got past Will Butsey just before the halfway, round about the halfway point of the race. And there you see second, third and fourth. They are covered by a second. And more to the point, well, this could be a grandstand finale for final two steps on the rostrum. And more to the point, Teddy Cooper is closing in on Gary Cooper. So could there be a change for third in the dying stages of the race? As now our race leader makes his way through Agostini's for what will be the final time. Timer hit 0. Final lap has been declared. It's now the rush on to the checkered. And will it be Gary or Teddy Cooper that picks up the final step of the rostrum in the last race of the series?
Gary. The reason being, they're not going to do anything silly on the final lap.
Who knows? Who knows?
Teddy's already got second. There's no reason for Gary to do anything crazy. As much as I'm sure Gary would love to defend, there really isn't anything here a problem. So I think at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to... Oh, well, I don't think he has to right about now.
Well...
Come on.
Come on, Gary. That was clearly cutting the track with taking an advantage. But in the meantime, let's concentrate on the man that has really been superlative this season here in the 150 Motorsports Series. Out of the final corner, out of Murray's. It's the run to the line. And after 14 laps, yet again, Jake Hewlett will pick up the win, pick up the spoils of victory here at Snetterton 300. And close out in the best way possible. Gary Cooper, that second place could be contentious.
No, I don't care. Ian cannot hold on to that.
No, I think Will Butsey should be second across the line. Teddy Cooper on the road. So these are provisional results. I'm sure there's going to be some discussion post-race. And Kirk and Ruji to the line. Kirk's going to take 6th. Ruji takes 7th. And, well, Rusek, Ryan Turner, and, well, Chris McIntosh forced right up until the bitter end. Tonight was not his evening. Finishes 10th, will pick up a point, but it will mean that Teddy Cooper may secure the runner-up status in the series as a result of what's happened tonight.
Yeah, Lolo goes over the line. Ross is on his way round into the final corner here as well, Matthew Vernon. Oh dear. If anybody doesn't know what that's about, then you need to go back and watch the main sim racing series from last week. There's definitely a receipt coming, should we say?
That'll be later on, folks.
Yeah,
so,
that'll be later
don't touch that dial.
Yeah, if you're in the UK, it's about 10 to 1 in the morning. Let's just say there was some action last time out, and there was a contentious moment. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I can here. It's probably the same as Mr. Cooper over Mr. Butsey. See you tonight, buddy. See you tonight, Matt. It's the same as Mr. Cooper over Mr. Butsey here. I think Gary had to stop that. He had to stop that car and allow him back through. And I think if Alicia lets him get away with that, I'll be very surprised. Get on him, love. Get him.
Yeah. Haul him into the steward's room. Haul him into the steward's room.
Absolutely. Get him down there and tell him.
Exactly. Well, let's wrap up today's broadcast with a couple of interviews. Let's have a chat with the man who picked up the champion of the series title a little bit earlier on with a round to spare. Jake Hewlett joins us here in the commentary box. Jake, another exemplary textbook performance there. Put it on pole in qualifying. You got a little bit jumped at the first couple of corners, but managed to get through on Will Butsey, the halfway point, and pick up the race win. Well done.
Hi, good evening, guys. Yeah, so yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? Quite the turn of events compared to what we've had so far, and yeah, not all cars are equal, it would seem. I don't know. It was just like it was super weird. I was pushing the cars so hard, and it felt different. But I was quite confident that we'd have the consistency and the race pace and racecraft to bring that one home. Some BTC style-esque challenges from some other people there, shall we say? But look, maybe they knew that they couldn't get it on pace, so had to go for it early on, if you like. But yeah, obviously a shame to see Butsy get his P2 stolen away from him, not very fairly at the end there, but I think we all expected it.
No,
yeah,
they've got to give it back. And you, Mr. Hewlett, you got bumped around. You had your elbows out. Don't you give it all this BTC styly rubbish. You got a little bit of bumping around there, son. They weren't giving it to you easily.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I expected them to fight hard, and I think the outside of turn one kind of set the story as such. As soon as I come out there, I was on my line, and already I was getting hit whilst it's a dead straight approach. So I figured, hey, we're in for a bumpy one here. So
in all fairness, though,
Agostini, obviously come through Agostini, I got rear-ended, which put me into Gary. So I think Gary thought I was trying to steal it away from him, but I was actually lifting to give it back. But obviously, if we were to look at some telemetry, sorry, I'm sure it would be. But he's bumping me, trying to get me. I'm like, I'm letting you go, dude, go. But hey, it's a good job it's a CMA.
Yeah, no, definitely some BTCC style antics, but yeah, I mean, still. It's always nice to get on a sim because you don't have to worry about grass cutting, you don't have to worry about damage or anything like that. But still a very fun series, nevertheless, Jake. It's always good to get out the cobwebs during the winter period.
No, absolutely. We've obviously been really fortunate for 150 Motorsport and yourselves putting this series on, to which I'm sure we're all very grateful. I, for one, certainly am. It keeps the reps in, and sort of keeps you going and keeps you warm as such. And yeah, just excited to see what comes next. We've heard a few things, but I won't say nothing.
I haven't. I've told them the series is something's coming, but I haven't said what. So.
No, it's exciting. I think for their first attempt at it as well, it's been pretty good. Obviously everyone's helping build it into something better as well. And yeah, just I suppose as a closing thing, just a massive congratulations to everyone for putting on such a good show and sort of keeping me pushing all season. I wouldn't have expected to have I think it was 6 poles, 6 wins, maybe 5 poles, 6 wins. But yeah, it was nice to have a good battle at the end. That's what everybody wants to see, right?
Yep.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jake. Right, let's turn to...
hold on. Jake, you still there?
I'm still here, sir.
Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
As always, of course. Thank you very much, sir. So everyone who supports me and supports what I do behind the scenes, hopefully everybody knows me by now. If not, at JakeHewlett92 on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. A big thank you to Mill Street Motors and Europa Crash Center for now. We have some big stuff coming for the year. So if you're a potential sponsor, want to get involved in some bits and pieces, please be sure to reach out.
There you go. Sorry, Alex. Carry on.
Thank you as always to you guys as well for putting on such a great show. And again, 150 Motorsport once again. I'll let you guys pass over to the next gents. Cheers, guys.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Jake. Appreciate that. Right, James, who do you want to question, Gary or Will? Because
let's have a chat with Mr. Cooper. Gary, welcome in.
Hi, how's it going?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
That was an interesting race.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah.
Bit of a roller coaster for you.
Yeah, it was a good start. Bit of door-to-door banging, I think, with a couple of people. I did try to miss Chris, I think, on the first lap. I was on full lock, off the throttle, and it just come back on. I had nowhere to go. I just couldn't get out of it. Then as the race went on, couldn't keep with them, to be fair, for the first couple of laps, or 5 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
And then I got into Marine. And then, I mean, as you watch it back, Will outbraked himself, I think, twice under the bridge. Really should have given the position. Did flash my lights loads of times, but didn't. And then last lap, I thought I'd go for as late as I could and miss mine myself. So, yeah, but other than that, it was a good race. I mean, my nephew was on me, up me chuff all the way around, pushing me along.
Seen that as
So,
well.
yeah, it's a good race. Enjoyed it.
Question on that last lap. Do you, now this is where we get a little bit contentious. Although you missed the chicane and missed your braking point, do you feel you should have given it back?
Yes, I would have done if Will had done it the 2 times that he missed the chicane. I think, I don't know how many laps in it was, but he missed it twice, didn't give the lap, was flashing, didn't give me the position. I was flashing the light to say, look, come on, even if you go side by side or something, but nothing. So, yeah, I think fair's fair.
I'm going, mate. I'm going. Well, that's it for the season for this one there, buddy. So well done for that. Looking forward to next one. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Only my nephew and my own team, Cooper Motorsport, and obviously to the guys that have put this mod on, and you guys as well, the commentators. Absolutely excellent. Probably one of the best series I've driven or raced in my 5-10 years of sim racing on and off. You know, I'm no expert, but you guys make it. And so obviously Sam and ST150 Motorsport for putting it on. Fantastic.
Awesome job. Well, cheers, Gary, very much for that one, buddy. And look forward to seeing whether or not you take part in next season's plans.
Well, thank you. I hope to. Yeah, I hope to.
Take care, bud. There you go, Alex. That was Mr. Gary Cooper.
Thank you.
We got Will Butsey in the booth for you to have a chat with.
Will, good evening, mate.
Evening, boys.
Qualifying, you put it on row 2, P4, and then absolutely mugged everybody whilst they were battling tooth and nail.
I know, I couldn't get over that, to be fair.
I bet you were like thinking, hang on, has everything come to plan? And then all of a sudden we see you leading by about a second from Jake. I think you were probably, whilst with one hand on the wheels, scratching your head, weren't you?
Well, I was coming down the back straight, and I was like, is really Jake behind me? And because we all know Jake is quick. And the opportunity come around, and it was go for the gap and go for it. And, well, he just caught me up in the last few laps. And then eventually, I got to admit, that was a hell of a move in turn 1. I could not take that away from him. And then I outbroke myself going for he set me up for the switchback, and I couldn't get a car stopped. So, yeah, it's my own fault, really. But it didn't help. My foot kept slipping on the brake pedal. My feet were slipping all the time because I haven't got my boots on. But that explains why I outbroke twice on the chicane. But every time I come back on, I literally hit the brakes, so I didn't gain an advantage, and I was slotting back exactly where I was.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll see that on the replay as well.
But still, nevertheless, a top 3 to end the series. Pretty good way to end it. Anyone you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
I'd like to shout out Jordan and Brandon. They're part of my race team in the Civic Cup. So if you want to go and follow us, it's Will Butsey Racing on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Need a driver, Will, or anything like that?
What's that? Sorry?
Need a driver? Do you need need a sub driver or anything if you get sick?
If I can afford to put you in there, I'd definitely do it.
Oh, all right, mate.
You guys made a good job commentating for us, and big shout out to Sam at 150 Motorsport for putting this on for us. But yeah, bring on the next one now, which is going to be soon, but we can't reveal any details yet.
No, got to keep it quiet, Will. Got to keep it quiet.
Hush, hush.
Yep.
Nudge, nudge, wink,
Absolutely.
wink, say no more. Well, Will, thanks for joining us, buddy, and well done for your top 3 result here at Snap.
Top man. Thank you, boys.
Take care, man.
Well, that really wraps up the coverage for the final round of this particular series for 150 Motorsport. A lot of action still to come here on the JP Broadcasting Network. We've got Season 1, 2025, Round 5 at Montreal for the Radical Race Series coming up. In about 45 minutes' time, we've got the main Sim Racing Series Late Model Stock 125 laps at North Wilkesboro, which will be at 20 past midnight tomorrow. The Narrows Season 1 Round 11 at Kentucky for the Louisville Slugger 225 on the 19th, early in the morning. Then we go to Mount Panorama for the FDL Endurance Series Round 1 at 4 o'clock Sunday morning. Conspit GR86 returns with Thruxton. IGP Fun Super Formula Light Season 1 Round 5 at Mugello at 20 past 9 on Sunday. And then we see the return of the Sim Racing for Simpletons. Season 5 heads to Round 1 at Mugello. James, what a great way to end off the first series of 150 Motorsports, and a great circuit to do it at.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw the bump and grinds, and we saw, we heard some of the comments. There was little digs in there from Gary and Will. I thought all of a sudden we were going to be the intermediaries up here in the booth and separating and running down the pit lane, like Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard, and we were in the middle because I thought they were going to have a nice little exchange of words. But, it's been good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one. I think the next one's going to be amazing. I do know some details, but you ain't knowing nothing. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be an interesting one, and we'll get it all tied up and hopefully back here on JBB as well. But yeah, great racing, great season, great epic ending.
So this has been a JP Broadcasting production with myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and James Parfitt, your men to talk you through the action. Race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, go flat out. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Good night.